What was the most surprising feeling that you had when you read through the script for the first time?
Surprise. Well, I think by the time we got to the end of 8, I was like, okay, like Ray's done searching, like we're all good. So I didn't really know what to expect. And then I was like, here we are. Here we are.
Obviously not your first Star Wars rodeo, so to speak, but how was the pressure different working on this film as opposed to The Force Awakens?
There's more pressure on this one because it is the end of the story, not the beginning, and we had to find the threads, the themes, the characters, and sort of wrap it all up in this film. So it was a different kind of a challenge, for sure.
What was your most memorable moment on set?
I mean, there were so many. It's hard to pick one, to be honest with you. But every day was there were some surprises every day.
What was it like, obviously, working in Carrie Fisher through the unused footage? How did that change the energy on set if you watched it back? I'm just really curious what those moments were like.
Well, it was weird because on the one hand, it was work and you were shooting, and it was, on the other hand, you knew you were doing something that was like sort of a gift to the fans, an important thing for the story. But the most important person wasn't there, so it was kind of like a bittersweet experience.
Absolutely. What are you most excited for fans to see? Is there like a particular action scene or a particular beat?
I just can't wait for people to see the work the actors have done. I think that Daisy Ridley is tremendous in the movie, and she's so good. Adam Driver's amazing. The whole cast is great.
Did you start with trying to specifically pick each character and be like, okay, well, this is how I'm going to give them an emotional arc and conclude it? Or did you have to kind of look at all of it at once as like a big ball of string?
It was really looking at Ray's story primarily, figuring out where that would go, looking at the whole, 8 films that preceded ours and asking, what feels like the inevitable final chapter of those stories. So there wasn't really sort of one strategy. It was sort of looking at it from all sides.
What is it like being back now to close out this? I mean, did you ever in your wildest dreams feel like, oh no, this is a normal thing that's going to happen in my life?
No, I thought I was dead. I mean, I thought he was dead because when we did Return of the Jedi and I was thrown down that chute to galactic hell.
Think that would kill someone.
Yeah, and George said, oh, does he come back? And he said, no, he's dead. So I just accepted that. But then, of course, I didn't know I was going to be doing the prequels. So in a sense, he wasn't dead because we went back to visit him when he was a young man. But I was totally surprised by this.
What was the most difficult thing that you had to overcome? Because you mentioned how Palpatine has changed in this version. Yeah. What was the most difficult thing for you to overcome with that?
Well, it wasn't so much difficult. It was interesting that he's physically paralyzed, but his mind is even sharper, as a result. And you see in the film there are various people trying to help him back to get into shape, but he can't really do it without some kind of force help. So that's what he's looking for at the beginning of the movie.
What are you most excited for fans to see in this film?
Well, there's so much. I don't know where to begin. There's so many events, there's some new characters and so on. And there's Carrie, of course, coming back, and it's beautifully done. I saw it a couple of nights before. That's moving in itself. So I think that's probably the answer to your question.
What was the most surprising feeling that you came away with once you'd finished filming?
I don't know. It was, I suppose, the fact that it now is over. This particular section, there'll be other Star Wars. There are other Star Wars, wonderful new series, Mandalorian and so on. Ewan's getting to work again. I see all of these things. So that's not over, but this is, and it's wonderful to be part of that conclusion. And JJ was very keen that it should seem like the end of 9 films, but also a very entertaining film in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think you'll find that it's both.
I loved it. I had a
blast. You've seen it? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Congratulations. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I saw it. I loved it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
There was so much that happens.
There's so much that happens.
What was the thing that surprised you when you read through it? When were you like, oh God? Was there something that really jumped out at you?
A visit by a certain old friend.
Oh, very mysterious. And what was the When you finished filming, obviously you've been a part of the saga now for 3 movies. What was it like when you finished? What was the biggest feeling that you had when it finished?
The feeling that I had was gratitude, but also hope, which is one of the themes of this movie. It's like it's so you feel so fulfilled. Your soul feels fed, and it's such a beautifully beautiful strokes of human emotion and humanity that are invested in this film. Exactly, and
Chewie's so emotional.
Chewie's very emotional. Exactly.
Was that like? What is it like for you to play those emotions literally in a Wookiee costume? I mean, like, is that difficult? What's it like?
I remember being pretty anxious and like afraid of what was gonna come out, and if it was gonna be, because you don't want to do too many takes of that scene. So we did 4 or 5, and it was very emotional. Yeah, I was very anxious to shoot that scene, and nothing seemed to work that day. My jaw was slippery from sweat, and I couldn't like open the mask, and it was wonderfully hard.
You just put that now when I watch it again, I'm gonna be like, ah.
Yeah, but I think it turned out fine.
How exciting was it to be part of this, like right at the final conclusion of the saga? What was that like for you?
Well, I just got my bus pass, when I was 60. So to get the chance to be in Star Wars that I had obsessively followed since I was a drama student in 1977 was, a dream come true for me. Yeah.
What was it like playing a character that is like just evil? Like Pride is literally, he's just a baddie. Like what was that like for you?
Delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never allowed to smile once. And
was it hard to keep a straight face the whole time?
Yes, it was.
Who was the funniest person on set?
Who was the funniest person?
Do you want to hint?
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Oh, Domhnall Gleeson said that it was Adam Driver told a very good joke, but he wouldn't tell us what it was.
No, Adam was he was in character. He was in his mask for the long time I worked
Right,
with him.
that makes sense.
So you can't see somebody's face. It's very hard to know
If
whether
they're kidding.
standing there kind of laughing at you or just giving the evil eye.
What was the most surprising thing that you felt when you finished filming this movie?
When I saw my name on the poster, I realized that I must actually be in the final movie, because so many times your actors are in movies and they're cut out or cut down, so the fact that I was on the poster, I thought, oh, I must be in the actual movie. So that was a confirmation and thrill.
What are you most excited for fans to see in the film?
I think that it's the feeling of that you feel so invested in it, and it's such an emotional wallop by the end.
Did the journey of your character really surprise you?
When I read the script, it did. I had some ideas, and they were not a million miles off, but definitely surprised me. Yeah. JJ's good at that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was it like being on set with, obviously you've got all these new people kind of coming into the fold in this final bit of the saga. What was that like? How did that change the dynamic?
Well, the person I spent most time with who was new to us was Richard E. Grant. I'd worked with him before, huge fan of his, and that was just delight. He's lovely to be around, and he made me laugh all the time, so it was great.
Who was the funniest person on set?
Adam Driver told a joke.
Okay.
That I've been telling ever since.
Can you tell it?
No, not as well as Adam.
But he's not here, so you could tell us.
Adam's not here?
Here we go.
I don't think so.
Ah, crap. No, he did it too. I'm sorry. That's like a teaser for a terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't do that on purpose. I'm sorry.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was the most surprising thing that you felt when the final thing was done? What was the thing that hit you weirdest of all?
I wouldn't say any of it was weird. It was what I expected, You have it all the time as an actor. You work with people, you get close to them, and then you part and you go your separate ways, and you just hope you meet further down the line. So that's kind of how I feel about this.
And it's definitely, you've worked with Oscar Isaac before, obviously. Yeah. What was it like coming back and finishing up with him now?
Hopefully this will be the last time I work with Oscar. I don't, as a human being, he's not the best.
He's not behind you, so you can say that.
Okay,
no,
good, okay,
okay.
good. No, Oscar's the best. There's a few people that you just hope you keep on crossing paths with, and Oscar is one of those to me. I would look forward to working with him again.
How was it playing someone who's just a baddie? Just bad?
He's cute. He's got his cute moments. It was fun. It was fun, and you got to take it seriously when you're doing it, obviously. But you take a step back, and it's fun.
That being said, Hux is like funny, like actually as a character, or maybe
can
it's
be.
just fun to laugh at him.
No, he can be. Yeah, I mean, when someone who's a bit of a,
You can say
gets
it,
hurt,
it's fine. Yeah.
that was funny.
Yeah, there's a little Schadenfreude in that, right?
Totally. You want to see him get hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully there's a bit of that in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. Hello. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
That's your dad?
That's my pops.
What's it like being here with your dad?
It's great. He actually flew with me, and my sister flew with me to LA to do the first premiere, the world premiere. And now my family are on their way to celebrate this one, so it's super exciting. I'm so glad Dad is here.
When did it finally like sink in that you're like, oh shit, I'm in Star Wars?
No, never.
I've
I've seen myself in the movie twice, and it still hasn't sunken in.
Wow.
It feels like I'm watching a completely different person.
Right.
totally.
For the character of Jonna, like, I mean, how different is she to you?
Yeah, super different. I'm a city girl. She's not.
I am from New York City, so I
yeah,
totally
right.
get
Do you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where are there all backs running around in London City? I don't know. I guess that's the stakes are higher for her, and her history is different. I come from like without giving away too much.
Yeah.
I come from a happy history, so. Yeah, there are some differences, but I think the general feeling of like strength and groundedness is the thing that we have in common.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was the thing that, like, when you finished watching it, what was the weirdest emotion that you had that you didn't expect?
When I finished watching it, I actually I didn't feel anything the first time I watched it, and I had to sleep on it. I had to just like absorb it and figure out how I felt slowly, because I think for me as well, it's maybe different because I worked on it, and so trying to filter it through how the audience would see it was a different thing. The second time I watched it, it was like a ride. I loved it even more than the first time. And so the third time, I mean, who knows what could happen.
Yeah. You might throw your popcorn at the screen.
Right, boom, go off the stage. Who's that? She's playing Jana? She's rubbish.
I don't think so. I just don't think that's going to happen. I have a feeling. I just have a
I'm
feeling.
feeling it right now.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Hi. That is like, there's a lot of fabric there.
I know, there's a
feel
lot
like
of
it's
fabric.
a tripping hazard.
Yes, it is a bit.
Very different to your outfit in the film, which I feel like is super minimal. You would
Yes.
not trip over at all.
I could probably like hurt some people.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is incredible. Zori Bliss is like totally kick-ass, and I absolutely loved watching her. What was the most surprising thing you felt when you finished filming this movie?
Just to be a part of history. It's a part of cinematic history, and I feel so fortunate that I got to kind of come in at the very end on something, and to get to do it with JJ, who is a friend of mine. It's special.
And what was it like being on set with all these people? Like, what was your most memorable experience on set with the cast?
Well, I would say the first time it dawned on me that it was a real, true Star Wars movie. There was a scene in which there was a large group of stormtroopers that passed by us, and I thought, we're in Star Wars.
You're in the universe. You're in the galaxy.
We're in the galaxy.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.